how's it going? This is your boy Coach Ekong, and this is my weekly vlog, New Vision for Your Nutrition, my unfiltered perspective, tips, and advice on health. Today's topic is you might just have to quit. All right, we're going to open up with a quick article. This is from CBS News, and the title of the article, it says the CDC shows 80% of American adults don't get the recommended exercise. All right, so let's get into it. Now, I proofread this fairly briefly, so I just really wanted to point out some of the things that stood out to me, and then we could discuss that. All right, so it says researchers at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, analyzed survey data collected from more than 450,000 U.S. adults ages 18 and older who were randomly phoned across the 50 states. All right. And what they did, guys, was they went ahead and tested them. And here's what the survey revealed. It revealed that only 20.6% of people met the total recommended amounts of exercise. And we'll talk about what the total recommended amounts are. But it's at only about 23% of all surveyed men and women, which is preferably 18% of, 23% of all surveyed men and 18% of surveyed women were shown likely to exercise between the ages of 18 and 24, whereas those least likely to exercise are ages 65 and up. So 20.6% of people total, per this survey, actually got the recommended amounts of exercise. Now, what is the recommended amounts of exercise? According to this article, it says the U.S. government recommends adults get at least 2.5 hours of moderate intensity aerobic exercise each week, or the equivalent to that would be 1 hour and 15 minutes of vigorous intensity activity. Or the third choice would be a combination of one of the two. And it says that in addition to those activities, adults should also engage in muscle strengthening activities like lifting weights or doing push-ups at least twice per week, which I 100% agree with. In addition to your aerobic exercise, you always want to do some type of strengthening exercise, but that's neither here nor there. So where we're at in the summary of this particular article is basically that even if it's not 80%, if we're even talking about 75% of people not getting the recommended workouts would basically mean that a 25% margin of people across the 50 states are the only percentage of people getting the recommended amount of workouts. Now, how this plays into the title of the vlog is that this holds extremely true on a day-to-day basis as I continue to talk to people. And where I would like to shift the idea is towards the work-life balance, right? And about 6 years ago, I kind of mentioned something similar as I was speaking to a group, and it still holds true today, which is sad. It's that there is this consistent idea that your job, although very valuable, very important, we all know the benefits of having a job and what a job does for us. However, the lack of the work-life balance in making sure that our health is also sustained is a sad reality that is highly neglected to the point where it's almost disgusting. And so you make exactly enough to cover you until your next check every month, right? You haven't been working out, you've been giving everything to your job, and you catch the flu. You catch the bug, right? This flu has you out for a little while, and so you let your job know, and your job is like, hey, you're covered for a particular amount of time. As long as you get back to work within this amount of time, then you're fine, you're good to go. And so your doing everything that you should do. Now, mind you, your body has not really had a lot of experience in helping to protect itself because your body is just not, it's in a very poor status. You haven't been working out, you haven't been running, your heart is in a poor place, energy levels are low, and you just so your body trying to recover, it's working as hard as possible, but it's having a hard time. And so your flu ends up being something that actually prolongs a little bit longer than you should have than you predicted, right? And so now your job is saying, hey, we know your situation, we know you're sick, but it's getting to the point where we really need you back, because at this point in time, your productivity has been so beneficial that they really can see the difference when you're not there, which is a good thing, right? So, you're again, you're doing your best. You try to kind of shake whatever this bug is, and man, once you know it, it gets worse. Your body is just not able to sustain and recover from this bacterial infection, whatever you got. And your job at this point is saying, you know what, we apologize, but we can't continue to, prolong your situation. And unfortunately, we have to terminate you because we do need someone to kind of cover you, because it's been over 3 weeks, and the type of job that you do, just you can't sustain for that long. So now you're fired, you're out of a job, you don't have a second job, you don't have any alternatives. I haven't even made this a family situation, because that would be even more devastating, but we'll just make you a single bachelor or bachelorette, and you're now facing the situation that it's gotten so bad. Now you have to go to the ER. You have to really treat this, because at this point you need vitamins and things, IVs and things that are more serious to help your body recover. So you are now in the hospital, okay, and you are jobless. So let's look at the scenario. So not being in good health, okay, has caused you to, number one, get sick and allow your body to not recover as quickly as it should have. That's one red flag. Another red flag is, through your lack of conditioning your body, the health and wellness, and making that a priority, your body not being healthy has caused normal sickness to be prolonged to the point where you've had to take so much time off your job, or your used to have job, you used to be job, that you were now fired. So that's another red flag. And the third red flag is, now your body is shutting down to the point where you have to go to the hospital. Okay. And in hindsight, you look at it and you're like, man, you know, this could have been prevented if would have just given myself, my body, just a little bit more TLC, right? Because the domino effect in the scenario is, if you're living check to check, God forbid you're not being responsible, but as soon as you lose your mainstream of revenue, right? Now, not only bills, but with hospital bills are like one of the most, I think it's like one of the top reasons for bankruptcy in America today is medical bills. So you have no revenue streams of income. Okay. On top of that, you have medical bills. So you're out of a job and you have medical bills. And that's not to mention the fact that, you know, when you get better, that is going to be a high level stress on your body. And I say all that to say that, man, if you're at a point where your job is so important or so taxing that you don't have any time for yourself, your body, your health, my advice is you might just have to quit. It's Coach Ekong saying, listen, 80% or 75%, roughly 80, let's say about 75% of all of us, American adults, are not getting the recommended amount of exercise, and it's a problem. And I think that when we look at adults, we look at the fact that everybody's working, everybody's chasing, everybody's trying to get more, but nobody's making enough time for their bodies and their health, and these temples that we only get one of. Average is 2.5 hours. You're talking 3 hours a week. You have 3 hours a week. You have 3 hours a week. All right. So as Coach Ekong said, hey, if your job is too stressful, you just might have to quit and get something else. And that way you can at least live and not die. All right. Hit me up on my social sites if y'all have anything for me, man. Thank you so much for your time. Again, Coach Ekong.